Hi guys, how you doing? Today I'll tell you about one of the best films I ever watched. The name of the film is The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. It was a fine film based on a novel by F. Fitzgerald, wrote in 1922. The film featured Brad Pitt as Benjamin Button and Kate Blanchett as his beloved Daisy. Uh, Benjamin Button, portrayed by Brad Pitt, was born with a rare disease where someone born with this disease aged backwards. So, when he was born as someone with the features of 8-year-old, his father was aghast, but he had no option, and he raised him. And he was when he was born with white hairs, a smoky beard, and wrinkles all over his face, and also with the uh, ability to speak as well. In fact, when he was born, the first thing he asked his father, Roger Button, why I'm here, why don't you take me home? So the, his father, Roger, was nonplussed. He couldn't have imagined that his newborn son will be someone with the features of 80-year-old senior citizen. Well, when Benjamin turns 5, his father sends him to kindergarten, but very soon the school authorities sent him back because most of the time he was sleeping and he was not able to uh, correlate with the children because he was 75. He was almost like a 75-year-old senile man. And the time went by, and then it was around 20 years old. He looked like someone age 55, and there he met a Daisy, beautiful girl, in his neighborhood. Daisy was very fond of a middle-aged man, and so he fell in love with Benjamin Button. And they spent some very quality time, and the film goes on. It shows the kind of relationship of Benjamin Button and Daisy, and the time moves on, and the Daisy, she wanted to be a ballet dancer, while Roger, uh, uh, Benjamin's Button's father, he was running a hardware business. He wanted his son to join his business, which he finally joins, and the film moves on. And once Benjamin Button goes to the famous ballet center and meets Daisy, who has now become a very fine exponent of ballet dancing. There he meets Daisy's boyfriend, who is also a dancer, and Daisy had plans to go out with his boyfriend, doesn't entertain Benjamin, and Benjamin feels dejected and comes back. But then again, he meets Daisy, and the film goes on, and then once Benjamin takes Daisy on a cruise on his yacht. They spend some time and they developed a very the kind of closeness they never knew. They come back and they marry, and well, the time goes on, and it seems that the good times will never end, and then Daisy becomes pregnant, and uh, she is blessed with a girl child, and when the girl child is still in her cradle, the Benjamin Button uh, surreptitiously leaves Daisy. He knew that he is suffering with a rare disease, and it will be too much for Daisy to handle, because once he'll start aging backwards, well, it will be very difficult for Daisy to handle two kids, one of her own and he himself, because every day he was becoming younger, and at the age of at the age of 40, in fact, it looked like 40, while Daisy was developing the signs of old age with wrinkles. He wasn't feeling comfortable, and so Benjamin leaves home, and in fact, he sells his shop and his investments and his yacht, and puts all the money in Daisy's account so that she is financially well taken care of. And then, and film goes on, and then we see that Daisy meets an accident, and her career as a ballet dancer finishes, and she starts dancing school of her own, where she teaches the basics of ballet dancing. And one day, when she was about to close her institute, she sees a young Benjamin Button, who, after visiting so many places in the world to find peace, finally returns to see Daisy. And well, here, when he's almost 60, he looks like a 20-year-old guy, and Daisy, a 60-something year old lady, really gets shocked, and she asks, why, Benjamin, you came back? And the Benjamin says that I just wanted to meet you. And film goes on further, and then suddenly she's about to close her institute, and there walks in her new husband, whom Daisy introduces that he's a old friend of mine. And the husband is also amazed, because at that time Daisy is almost 60 years old, with her own daughter who is around 15, and both Benjamin and the daughter look at each other unknowingly that the gentleman, the young man, the 20-year-old man, he is actually his father, suffering from a rare disease of aging reversely. And it goes on further, and in another 5 years, Daisy receives a call from one of the welfare centers who look after boys with serious disabilities, and they say that we have a 15-year-old boy named Benjamin Button, and we can only knew from the diary we found with him that maybe you know him, and then uh, Daisy visits at care center, and she finds him 15-year-old Benjamin Button, who is actually 65 that time, but looks like a 15-year-old lad. And he's one very naughty and very difficult boy, and it's giving very difficult times to the caring staff. But Daisy talks nicely and talks him to uh, obey the authorities at the that care center. And and the film goes on, and in the final 10 or 15 minutes, we see that Benjamin Button has become a 5-year-old boy, and while actually he is 75 in age, and the Daisy taking care of him and treating him like a 5-year-old. And in the final climax, we see Daisy holding a newborn boy who is actually 8-year-old Benjamin Button, and with the big blue eyes. And suddenly that boy looks into the Daisies. They have eye contact, and the Daisy suddenly have that airy feeling that the boy knows who he is, and he knows about their existence. And that is the final scene of the film, and very touching. And the boy, after giving a very deep look to Daisy, closes his eyes forever. The film has been narrated in a flashback when Daisy, as a 80-year-old, talking to his own daughter, who is 50-something, telling about the curious case of Benjamin Button. So, guys, if you get a chance to see this film, you must. There are very few films who move you to the extent that a film is capable of. It's a beautiful film, and the role of Benjamin Button, so beautifully enacted by Brad Pitt, and Daisy is equally good, being played by Kate Blanchett. So that was one of the better films I watched. Next time I'll tell you about some more good films. Thank you very much.